We're attempting to create a land of make-believe in the Culture Cafe studio today with a musical theatre extravaganza. The Phantom of the Opera is back in Scotland. Its box office revenues outstrip any other film or stage play in history. What makes it such a sensation? Can you believe how time flies? 26 years ago this month, The Phantom of the Opera opened in London's West End. Back then, the stars of the show were a dark and mysterious Michael Crawford and a beautiful heroine with a haunting voice called Sarah Brightman. Together, the duo blew the roof off Her Majesty's Theatre in London and took the charts by a storm too. Sir Cameron Mackintosh's spectacular 25th anniversary production of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical shows little sign of fatigue. It's estimated it's been seen by more than 130 million people, 130 million people. I can't get my head around that fact, worldwide. And it's grossed in excess of £3 billion. Another fact to brag about: Phantom was the first soundtrack in the history of the British musical to enter the charts at number 1. With me now, I'm delighted to say, the current Phantom, John Owen Jones, and Katie Hall, who plays Christine. No pressure, guys. This is a show that has seen success like no other. Katie, first of all, how do you feel about stepping into these shoes?
Oh, they're definitely big shoes to fill, but it's such a wonderful part to be able to play. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's absolutely amazing.
John, what about you? There is pressure, though, because, I've just read those stats, 130 million people worldwide, £3 billion gross, it has to be at the back of your mind. You can't screw up.
Well, the only thing really at the back of my mind when you tell me figures like that is, why didn't I get paid more?
Spoken like a true actor. Now, Katie, you opened at the Playhouse in Edinburgh last week. How's it going so far?
Oh, the audiences are absolutely amazing. Everybody's so sort of enthusiastic. The ovations we get at the end it's absolutely amazing. And it's such a lovely house to play as well, it's so big.
Yeah, John, this show, 25 years on the run, the longest running show on Broadway, the box office revenues, I've said. What is it? Have you managed to divine what it is about Phantom of the Opera that makes it such a winner on all counts and keeps bringing in the audiences all these years later?
Well, if I did know the answer to that, I'd have written my own musical and then I'd be richer than Cameron Mackintosh and Andrew Lloyd Webber.
You must have a theory. There's something about the chemistry of it all coming together.
Well, there is. It's one of those wonderful bits of synergy in theatre, which happens very rarely. It happened with Les Miserables as well, and Cats. It was the right thing at the right time. You had the right source material, the right music, the right lyricist, the brilliant set design, brilliant director, a brilliant cast, and it just caught the public's imagination. And there's something about Phantom that people keep coming back for more. They see it once, they know they're going to have a good time, so they come back again. So Phantom bears repeat viewing as well. There's so much detail and it's so richly textured and it's so vivid and exciting to watch. People just love it.
We know Michael Crawford was the first Phantom. He played it to perfection. Quite a reversal of roles from Frank Spencer, I think. But is it true, John, that you've played the Phantom more times than any other actor in the 25 years it's been in the West End?
That is correct, yes. I have done it more than anyone else. And I think after doing it, maybe if they brought back Some Others Do Have 'Em, I could maybe go into that and I could be the new Frank Spencer.
The pitch is in already. Katie, are you enjoying the role of Christine? Because, of course, that was Sarah Brightman's role that we remember especially vividly from that video.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's such a wonderful role. I mean, it's she goes on such a massive journey, and she starts off the show as, a little girl, really, and develops into a woman, and you see her grow up through this show. And, it's a wonderful part to play. I'm absolutely loving it.
Many different actors have played the roles that you guys are playing, so I'm just wondering how you approach them and make sure that you're bringing something of yourself, something unique, because you don't want to, Katie, just be like Sarah Brightman, and nor should you be. So how do you come at it?
Well, especially with this production, actually, because we've really had the chance to sort of recreate it and put our own spin on things. Like in the rehearsal room, it wasn't just following a set pattern. We, were able to say, well, how about this? What if it was like this? Or, So we've really.
Can I jump in there? Because obviously with this new production, it's a brand new set design.
Yeah.
Tell us what's different about it, because people will want to know how it's been updated, but you don't want to change it too much either. That's the thing.
Well, it's been completely changed from the ground up. When Katie and I were asked to do this show, it was very important to both of us, having done it in the West End, that we were able to do something new with it. Otherwise, we might as well stay in the West End. So Cameron Mackintosh approached us both to take the part somewhere new, and because the new set design is completely designed brand new from the ground up. The original is a classic, but it doesn't tour very well. You can't really take the roof off every theatre you go to and put in a chandelier that drops. So they've had to approach this new design from a more practical and pragmatic point of view, whereas they can move it every month, so we can get to see more cities, and therefore more people from more places can get to see the show. So the design, though, having said that, even though it's mobile, is completely massive. It's the biggest set I've ever worked on. It's jaw-dropping in its spectacle, isn't it, Katie?
Oh, it's amazing.
And, one of the things we were very excited about watching it, ourselves, but we can't at the moment because we're in it.
I've seen it. I've actually seen it.
Oh, yes, of course you have, because you don't do it a week, do you?
And how does it feel to be sitting on the other side of the fence, Katie?
Oh, it was weird, but I mean, it's such a really great show, especially having seen the show in town. And, when you're performing on stage, you have an idea of how it will look from the audience in your head, and then it's totally different from when you're actually watching it. It's beautiful. The lighting is beautiful, and the set designs. And have you
got the same costumes that were from the original?
Yeah, we've got all the same costumes. I mean, a couple of tweaks here and there.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. They've been changed again to suit the new set design. So.
And this production is being overseen by Cameron Mackintosh and Matthew Bourne. Now, how wonderful to have them paying all that attention. It looks like you're in the best possible hands, guys. How important is it for you to have those people overseeing things?
Well, when you're working with someone who knows what they're doing, everything's easier, isn't it?
I was a bit starstruck when I met Matthew Bourne.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I taught him all he knows. So, but with someone like Cameron particularly, he's massively successful for a reason, and that reason is he really does know what he's doing. He's very, very good at what he does. And he's got an incredible knack for seeing how a show can be improved, and that's why he employs people like us to then, enact that kind of thing. So, it's great to work with someone like that who has an innate sense of theatricality. It's a great learning ground.
You both took part at the 25th anniversary concert at the Royal Albert Hall late last year. I believe you were watched by Sarah Brightman and Michael Crawford. Hands on heart, both of you. Was it more pressure knowing they were sitting out there watching you?
Well, I wasn't Christine and John wasn't the Phantom in the concert, so we were sort of. I was in the ensemble.
Yeah, and I kind of turned up for a finale at the end, so I actually sang with Sarah.
Yeah, you did sing with Sarah.
And Crawford turned up right at the end. They wheeled him on, bless him. And, though he forgot his berry and his Mac, didn't he? But yeah, no, it was great. It's part of the thing was after 25 years, Cameron and Andrew really wanted to celebrate the success of the show, and so that's why they did that. It was like one big party. I've worked in the show for so long that I knew almost everybody who was working there that night. So it was just
and you knew everyone's lines as well.
Yes, I do. Sad to say, I do know everyone's lines, and I always tell them when they're getting them wrong as well.
I'm interested to know, sorry Katie, I'm going to ask you this anyway, about the audience. Has it changed over the years? I mean, are younger people coming to musical theatre now?
Probably.
Especially people in drama schools, there's lots of students.
There's a bigger audience now because of all the TV shows that have been on, like the Superstar one, which I think is in Glasgow tonight, isn't it? Yeah. And, we do have a huge influx of young people who probably couldn't afford to go to the theatre before, and it wasn't something they would spend their money on, but then they see it on the telly, on Any Dream Will Do and How Do You Solve a Problem and Superstar, and then they think, actually, I want to...
You missed my one.
Which one did you do?
I Do Anything.
There we go. Thank goodness you mentioned that.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, guys, this new 25th anniversary production of The Phantom of the Opera is on at Edinburgh Playhouse up until Saturday, 20th of October. Katie, John, thank you. I'd love it if you could hang around for now. Just sit back, make yourselves at home. I think you could do with the rest, probably.
Okay, yeah, I'll just get the kettle on.
Conserve your energy, absolutely.